Hello everyone, I am Nicole Oman and welcome to your weekly pick a reading video. Every week I pick 3 different tarot decks and record 3 very different readings, and you get to choose which ones resonate with you. In just a moment, I'm going to be giving you a brief description of each reading so you know which ones might be right for you. Then you can look down below to the timestamps and click on your reading and skip right to it. If you like what I do, make sure you subscribe to my channel to get a free reading every week. And also, if you'd like to book a personal one-on-one to get specifics that are right for you, you can always click my book a reading link right below and set one up. All right, without further ado, let's get to the descriptions of the readings. Reading 1 is the Light Seers Tarot deck, and we go into all about you. There's new decisions to be had, and you're going to have to take a little bit of inventory of what you want and who you are now as you move forward and make really big life-changing decisions in your life. If that feels like the reading for you, you can look at the time signature below and skip to reading 1. Reading 2 is the Zen Osho Tarot deck. And what we go into is moving past a lot of fear, worry, and stress and moving into a softer energy of receptivity and being guided by a higher power. Things are going to work out, but we have to let go of these unwanted stressors. If this feels like the reading you need, then you can look at the time signature for reading 2 and skip right to your reading. Reading 3 is the Thoth deck. And in this reading, we go all into money. It looks like we might be letting go of an old financial structure and maybe even going through a little bit of debt or hardship or some sort of financial agreement that needs to be looked upon. But as we let that go, we have new opportunities with wealth, money, and allowing ourselves to enjoy our lives. So big, huge money shifts in reading 3. If that feels like the reading for you, you can go down to the time signature for reading 3 and skip right to your reading. Hello, reading 1, and welcome to your reading. I just want to make a small disclaimer that these are general readings. So not every specific message may feel right for you. That's okay. Let it go. Let it roll off your back and hang on, hold tight, because the message that you need might be just around the corner. Allow your heart to open, soften, and receive the messages that you need. Before I start, I always like to show the reading in its entirety so you can follow along with me. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief description of what each placement means so you know when I go through them. So the first one here, down here, is the theme position. This is kind of the overall gist of what we're going into for the entire reading. The 2 cards in the center are the present position. This is what's happening for you now. The card all the way in the back is the past. It's something that's dealing with this theme that's still kind of working. This energy is still working through your present and into your future. The top card is your message from spirit. This is our advice from our higher perspective. And then finally, this card closest to me is our future position. This is what we're going to look forward to or what we're going to be learning in the next 1 to 3 months to come. Okay, let's jump into your reading. Let's start with the theme of your reading. It is the Queen of Swords, and it's in reverse. So as I look through the other cards, in relationship to this theme position, I'm seeing a very clear theme. What do you want? Who are you? Where are you going? This week is going to be a week of inventory and being really honest with yourself. there is a lot of obligations that might be surrounding you at the moment. You might also be in a certain sort of rut routine. And also, you might be so busy that you're not really taking inventory of the trajectory of where you're headed if you don't take a step back and really notice where you actually want to go. I know that might seem a little bit like, oh, like, how am I going to take a step back? Like you said, I have all these obligations. I don't think this is a option. I think you have to prioritize this because it will have a greater effect on the next 6 months of where you're going, where you're moving forward, and if it's really in alignment with yourself. You always get another chance to make a different decision, right? There are cycles of times that orbit around us that if we miss the exit, it will come back around. But you have a beautiful opportunity to do this now because there are certain things in your life that are needed to be let go. There are certain things, certain people, and certain parts of yourself that you have to walk away from. And I think maybe we have been busy. Maybe we've been putting a lot of shoulds and I have to do this on us to distract us from how we're truly feeling. So as this Queen of Swords is in reverse, I pulled a card on top of it that is the Hermit. It is time to be really honest with yourself. Look deep within yourself and don't be afraid of what answers you get. We have to listen because this is a really important crossroad. This is a really important time period. We have a lot of energy in the sign of Taurus. Even though the sun has moved out of Taurus, we still have Jupiter there. And this is illuminating our reality for the next year. So this is a really good time to change that foundation if your foundation needs to be changed. Let's move into the present position. So the present position is the 10 of Pentacles in reverse with the 8 of Cups that's crossing it. So the 10 of Pentacles in reverse is that routine. So it's your home, your family life, and the way that you're making money. And even though it's there, it's good, it's still healthy, your family is still doing okay. There needs to be a reorganization of the family dynamic a little bit. Maybe you have been putting a lot of energy into your family and you've lost yourself in it. And maybe your children are getting older and it's time for you to kind of put the attention back on you and know that you're never going to lose the role of being a mother or being a wife or whatnot. But there are certain parts of that with that 8 of Cups. There's certain parts of that role that you can walk away from. Maybe your kids aren't little bitties anymore and they can be more self-sufficient. Maybe they're going into high school, maybe they're graduating. And this is then pointing you back to that Queen of Swords in reverse of re-identifying who you are and what you want. This is also going to be a little bit of a time period for you to walk away from anything. Let me grab one more card so I can really get this. Yeah, that's what I thought. The 8 of Pentacles, or the 8 of Wands, I apologize. Anything that's not really lighting you up. I've been saying this a lot, and I know this is such an interesting thing to talk about, and a lot of spiritual coaches talk about this, but finding your passion, finding the things that bring you life force energy are more important than you think. Yes, our families can bring that to us, but there is some sort of igniting of a passion, a sense of worth. The energy of fire is connected to our solar plexus. So as we really link into who am I and what I want, those things can drive us forward. And What we also have to burn away is the shame and this guilt that we're having that might be holding us back from actually taking the steps to becoming who we want to be in the world. I taught the artist way for a very long time, and there's this term that we use called the shadow artist. And a shadow artist is someone who hides behind other people, other artists, our families, our husband, our wife, our children. And so we are doing all these things for everyone else, but yet our passion projects go on the back burner. So we don't have to take responsibility for our talents, for our ability, for our shine. Okay. And I'm getting this beautiful energy that it is okay. I'm giving you permission slip in this reading. It is okay to start giving yourself more priority and more time for you to shine. You've done it for everyone else. You've held space for everyone else. And it is okay for you to dial back the energy of output that you're giving to other people and really prioritizing little passion projects that I think will end up being huge stepping stones. These little things may even turn into a whole new life for you, a whole new career, a whole new you. So you have to allow yourself to take action and make commitments to what those things are. In the past position, we have the Magician. The Magician is this card that always tells me that you have all the skills that you need. In the Rider-Waite Tarot, the Magician comes with each one of a representation of each one of the suits, which is wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. This tells me that you have some learning and knowledge in each one of those things. It's on the table. On top is the infinity loop, and on his hoodie, he has the infinity loop. And it's learning how to take all the experience, all the knowledge, all the education that you have, and really your intuition as well, and bringing it down as above, so below, bringing your ideas down and making it manifest. Now it's in the past position, meaning you're not giving yourself enough credit. I think you're hiding a little bit. Maybe put down a resume and start really seeing all the things that you're really good at, and start building your confidence and know that you are the magician and you have the power to create the life that you are desiring. But you have to admit what you actually desire and what no longer serves you. This is scary. That's that transitional moment. But I'm getting a very strong energy here that you've got the power, right? You got the power. And it's not a pipe dream, because I really do feel like there are things from your past that are going to give you credibility for what you want to put into action and what you want to put into play. Let's go into our advice from Spirit. So our advice from Spirit is the 6 of Pentacles. In your future position, we have the 6 of Wands. So there's a lot of 6 energy, meaning 6 months, okay? Usually it's a cycle. So it could be 6 months, 6 weeks. It might even be June, because we're moving into June, and June is the month of 6, right? So because it's topping us, this is the advice right now. The 6 of Pentacles is a card of reciprocity. It's also grounded in the Pentacles, in the Earth sign. So there's like maybe 6 commitments that we can do, small things that will bring us more prosperity, more abundance, more grounded action, if you will. It's also this card of reciprocity. Ask and it's given, right? What do you need? What are your needs? Because some of our excuses for not doing the things we want to do might be, I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough energy. Well, if we reprioritize a little bit and we actually get clear on what we want and we know the specific things that we need to ask for to make this happen, then what will begin to happen is people, opportunities, and even monetary support will start coming your way, and you will be able to receive what you need to do what you need to do. Spirit is saying that you need to ask and we will give. I know that sounds too good to be true, but it's not. You just got to get specific and clear on what those things are. So we're not giving you just distractions because you think you want that in that moment, and then it's a flash in the pan. They want you to get really grounded on where you want to go so you know exactly what you need. And that might be doing something as simple, or as, you might be avoiding it, as like a business plan, or just a plan in general. Where do you want to go? Something that I like doing is I like going, okay, where do I want to be in 3 months? Where do I want to be in 6 months? Where do I want to be in a year? Then 3 years. And it's really hard to project more than that at this point because the world is moving very, very quickly. But if you know who you are and you start getting personal goals, you can at least start getting a ballpark on where that wants to be. But the 3 to 6 to a year goals, that is doable. You can come up with those and be really solid in what that is. Okay, so let's go in the future position. We have the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands in the reverse position. Again, the 6. If you do the 6 of Pentacles, what advice that Spirit is giving you, you will move more and more toward the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands in reverse is saying that if there's no action here, you're not going to get here. But if you take action here, you will get here. I'm going to pull a little card for this one too. I have the 6 of Swords. There's another 6, right? And I also have the Tower in reverse. I'm not going to pull these up here. I'm just going to show them to you. So the reason why I have these 2 cards, I believe, is you're a little afraid of the Tower. That means the change or the falling apart of old things. But with the Tower in reverse, yes, there's change. Things may fall apart, but it's not going to be to your detriment. It's one of those things that things need to be let go or things need to fall apart so you can move forward. That 6, again, 6, June, is saying it's time to move on. If things do fall apart, it's because you were just holding on too tightly and they have to like rip it out of your hand. So if you do lose a job, you do lose a friend, or you do lose a relationship, and you lose something that's connected to an identity that doesn't serve you anymore, they're going to pull it away because they've tapped you on this shoulder to tell you to let it go, and you haven't. So they're like, we're going to have to help you a little bit so we can move you to your new thing. Let us go to, I want to go straight to the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is this woman who's on stage. She's shining. She's being seen. She's in her passion because it's in the Wands position, and she's also taking action on that. There is something about you that you might have been hiding. I've been talking a lot about creative adventures, and spiritual ventures, healing ventures, but it doesn't need to be that. It can be anything that you're passionate about. You're passionate about cooking. You're passionate about, I don't know, card collecting. Whatever you're passionate about, this is where we can put our focus and shine. You have a niche understanding of something that you might be downplaying, but a lot of people, there's 7 billion people on this planet. There are going to be people that understand the niche that you're passionate about. It's time to come out of the closet about this and even talking about it. whether it be in a meetup group that's local and very small, and it's still just connecting you, and you have a knowledge that or a skill that they are missing, or it could be doing something on YouTube platforms, or it could just be going to a Toastmasters speech class and start talking about it. But there's something in you that needs to be spoken or seen or expressed so that you can start gaining new confidence to become the new self. If you're letting go of one self, then you're at the same time needing to shape, form, and recreate the new self. The more that you go out with courage and take these small actions, the more and more this will become reality. You'll start to realize that there are certain things that you have to let go of, but there's also certain things that you don't have to let go of. And they are going to drive you forward into this new identity, this new formed and healthier ego. And when I say the word ego, it's not like the bad ego. It's just who we identify with. And if you look at it, we've had so many identities in this lifetime. Who you were 10 years ago, who you were 20 years ago, are different people, right? Like you barely recognize those people probably. So just know those are little mini deaths before the death. They're like lifetimes within a lifetime. And you are in the middle of recreating the new you. So be patient with yourself, but show up to it, because this is a really important time for you to realign what your priorities are so you can be the new self. Okay, everyone. I hope that finds you well. If you like my readings and you like what I do, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get a reading like this every week. Plus, I'm going to be putting up new and beautiful information around what it feels like to be an empowered woman through sexuality, spirituality, and also motherhood. If you also want to just do a connection with me, you can book a session or book a reading. I am really I have a beautiful gift to help you get real clear on what steps you need to take to fully empower yourself. Okay, until next time, I will see you very soon. Namaste. Hello, reading 2, and welcome to your reading. Before we start, I just want to give you a general disclaimer that these are general readings. And so maybe not every single specific detail will pertain to you. Just hold tight, keep an open heart and an open mind, and the messages you need to hear will be just around the corner. As we begin, I want to bring up the entire reading in its entirety, and I want to just show you what placement means what so you can follow along throughout our reading. The first card on the bottom is our theme position. This is where I start. This is kind of generally what we're going to be going into for the entire reading, and this will give me a general understanding of what you're going through and what you're needing to work on. The 2 cards in the center are your present position. So this is what you're dealing with now, and possibly challenges or little pushes to get you out of where you feel stuck. The card all the way on the end is the past position. This is the card, something that happened in your past that's still kind of working itself out here in the present and in the future. The top card is going to be the card of advice from Spirit, from your higher self, and gives you a higher perspective of what's going on. And then this card closest to me is your future position. This is going to tell me what you're going to be learning or dealing with for the next 1 to 3 months to come. All right. Okay, let's start with your reading. So what we have in the theme position is the stress card. Yeah, sorry, this is the theme of this one. But what's beautiful about the whole reading is we're going to try to alleviate that stress and that feeling of overwhelm. So these will be different steps that we can take to release this stress. Look at this guy, right? He is juggling a lot. He is not just juggling a lot. He is juggling fire with blowing a horn as he is balancing on a ball, and that little monkey is about to pop it all. And sometimes that monkey with the pin might be our bodies shutting down. We might start getting sick, or we might get forced to stop everything that we're doing. So if you have been feeling stressed and overwhelmed and that you have too much on your plate, today I am giving you the permission slip to slow down. A lot of the overwhelm is also coming from your mind, okay? So there's this energy that we might be trying very hard to come up with solutions, but instead of sitting down, going into meditation, listening to our bodies, and getting connected to an inner guidance, what we're doing is we're going into fix-it mode from our minds, from our head. And so when we're not listening to something that is trying to guide us, what we do is we end up doing more tasks, putting more on our plate, and spinning our wheels, and nothing actually gets done. Because the main lesson here is to stop, drop, and look inside. Stop, drop, and roll, so you don't catch on fire like this guy. Okay? So you have permission to take a day. If you need to call into work for a sick day, this is a mental sick day. If you need to go get a babysitter, get a babysitter, because I don't want you to get yourself in this state of depletion, because that's where it's coming from. This advice that I'm about to give you might sound counterproductive, but it's not counterintuitive. We actually have to go into the trust of our intuition. The card that I have with the stress card is the creativity card. We need to listen, because instead of the logical linear mind trying to get you out of this situation, the creative mind needs to kick in. And if it kicks in, it can show you different areas that you didn't once think about that will get you out of the situation that you're in a more graceful, but also maybe even in a more timely manner. But you can't connect to that parasympathetic nervous system if you're in fight or flight at all times. You got to calm down this fight or flight nature and allow yourself to rest, allow the nervous system to come back to a little bit more status quo, a little bit more neutrality, so that you can access the creative mind that will show you unique and different ways for you to solve your problems. And I hate to say it that way, but to work with your problems in a more organic and natural way. Okay, let's go in the present position. So the present position is the moment-to-moment card in reverse and the participation card. The moment-to-moment card is also telling me that maybe our thoughts are either in the past or in the future. Usually anxiety comes from future thinking. I'm not going to have enough in the future. How am I going to do this? I don't even have enough money to pay my bills in like next month. If you have enough money, everything's okay right here. You're taking yourself out of this moment where your problems can only be resolved in this present moment, not in a future moment, okay? So that's also part of the reason why we're having a ton of anxiety here. So we're not necessarily in the moment. What I want you to do, I'm going to pull this card a little bit closer to you. See in the way that he is jumping from stone to stone, right? And in the foreground is like something starting to shape, right? So there's like buildings that are starting to shape. If you're in this stone, you can't see the building or the new form, the solution forming unless you're in this moment taking the next appropriate step. The next appropriate step will actually help you form the solution. You can't form the solution in thinking too far ahead. You have to stay here now, because the solution might be right here, right in front of you, but because you're so worried, you're projecting yourself so far ahead of yourself, you're not seeing exactly what is in your present, what is going on. I kind of think it's funny that we have the moment to moment card, like the present moment in the present position. Get in the moment. Be here now. Something my husband and I do to each other when we're in that like anxiety thinking is we'll say to each other, hey, where are you? And we're like, huh? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, where are you? I'm like, oh, now I'm here. And he's like, yes, when? Now. So I'm going to say this to you. Where are you? Take a breath. You are here. Okay? When? Right now. Be in your body right here and right now. Know that your problems will still be waiting for you. Just stay right here, right now. Get into your body. If you are not here and now, that is going to give you more stress, more worry, and more concern than just being in the present moment and seeing maybe the creative solution is right in front of your face. So I'm going to give you a hint. The card that's topping us with the present position is the participation card. The participation card is telling me that you may need help. Okay? How many of us feel a lot of shame around asking for help? I know it's hard to ask for help. Hey, I need something. I don't want to feel like a burden. I don't want to feel indebted to somebody else. I don't want to feel weak. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of vulnerability and strength. Vulnerability isn't even a sign of weakness. Vulnerability is allowing yourself to be honest with yourself and then being honest with someone else to allow where you are feeling depleted to be met, right? You have to be vulnerable to allow your needs to finally get met, okay? So, and also with this participation in the upright position, there's these four hands that, or these four sets of hands, and they all have a set. One is in the receptive position where they're receiving. And then in balance, the other hand is in a giving position. So it's in a state of reciprocity. You're not just asking for help for a handout. You're asking for help for people that you would do the same to them and maybe have done the same to them. So now it's time for you to allow yourself to be the vulnerable one, the one that has the need. And there is a group of people in your life right now that would be willing to happily help you in whatever that needs. Hey, can you watch the kids for a minute? Hey, I need a little support. Hey, what is that? But there is people around you right now that are willing to support you, and support does surround you, okay? Let's go in the past position. This is an interesting card for the past position. Most tarot does not have this card. It's the Master card. It is, I don't know if it has a number, but it does. This is the Zen Osho deck, and this one has Osho, the guru, if you will, as a part of this advice, if you will. The guru tells me that you have some sort of spiritual guide. For me, it's Amma. She stands right behind me. Amma is an Indian guru that I stayed with in an ashram for a while when I was in my 20s. And she's always been there to kind of support me and guide me. Your master, your spiritual master might be Jesus Christ, It might be Shiva. It might be whoever you connect to. You can even call this God or your higher self or your oversoul, the divine, whatever that is. This divine master is here in your past and is trying to tell you that they've always been here. They're with you, they're guiding you. But it feels like for a certain amount of time, you haven't really been connecting to them. This is kind of normal. Sometimes when you're in your spiritual process, you're relying on their wisdom or their guidance a lot. And then all of a sudden you feel very mundane, you feel disconnected to your inner guidance, and you don't necessarily feel super connected to your guide or your master. I hate to use the word master. That feels so subordinate, but whatever. Your guide, right? But what they're saying is it's time to reconnect with me. I've always been there. Yes, I let you kind of figure it out. It's kind of like that parent energy of like, sometimes you have to leave the nest, but you can come home and I'll feed you. Your master, and to be honest with you, this feels like guidance for me too. I felt disconnected from Amma the last 6 months to a year. And boy, has she come in like gangbusters the last few weeks. My daughter handed me my little Amma doll the other day, and I've been kind of cuddling with her and just talking with her again. And with that, I feel more supported, more embodied, and also more connected to my inner guidance again. So whoever your spiritual connection is with, it's time to reconnect with them, at least on a spiritual level, so that you can get this higher guidance again, because it's going to come online in a different way. So a lot of times we have to take space from it because we might have been relying on them in a certain way and we needed more support maybe in the past. And now we had to like kind of break off from them, and you're going to redefine your relationship to this spiritual guide for you. So again, if it is like Jesus or whatever, it might be a reconnection to your spiritual lineage, your religious connection, but it's going to come in a different way and a healthier way. Okay. It's not going to be a burden this time. There's one time I was doing an ayahuasca session, and this hymn started coming through me, and it said, I am just a little child sitting at your feet. And in India, sitting at a guru's feet is a sign of humility, but also massive honor to your master, as we honor their path that they walked. And so what I'm getting here is come from a humble place, a childlike place. The guru or the like Jesus comes in as like really tending to this innocent place that we need help. Again, we don't have it all figured out. That's the place of humility. So it's time to allow yourself to not put that pressure on yourself to know everything, to have it all figured out, and come from a place of surrender. I've been getting that word a lot. Surrender. Surrender into the process. Surrender to God. Surrender to your higher self. Because if you try to control this, you're going to come up against more resistance than that smooth transition that this spiritual guidance is trying to give you, or the support and the participation that you need. Okay. Let's go to the higher guidance. It's the guilt card in reverse. Like I said, there's a lot of mental energy and it's picking at you. You are too hard on yourself. I'm sorry to say, I'm not being hard on you. I'm just calling it out a little bit that you might be really hard on yourself. Maybe stuck in a place of self-doubt or lack of self-worth, or a state of feeling like nothing's going to get better. And the more that we drown ourselves in those type of thoughts, what is happening is A, we believe it, but B, we're also not taking chances and allowing ourselves to, we're indulging. I have to say it. We're indulging in the thoughts. We're indulging in this placement. And you might feel a little powerless to that, but I'm going to give you a little advice on how to get out of it. The card that I have with the guilt card is the sharing card. This means that the way to get out of this is to be in service. What? I'm already like really overwhelmed. But look, if you look at other people and you're genuinely in connection with other people and you're listening to other people's problems, you start getting a certain amount of realization that we might be stuck in our own perspective, thinking that we have it really hard. This is always such a double-edged sword of advice for me. I'm like, I have to look at other people's, like, their struggles to gain appreciation of, like, I'll take my problems. I have a friend who had breast cancer. And I looked at myself and said, yeah, I might be going through a lot of struggles right now. I went through some betrayal and some financial hardship, but man, I am grateful for my health. And when I supported her, I really saw how grateful I was for my health. Then I knew a guy who was in a similar circle, and he was in Denver, and he was walking by the river, and he got jumped by a gang, and it was a gang initiation, and they beat him up. For 6 months, he didn't heal. When they tested what was going on, they realized he had cancer. Now, these are extreme, like seriously extreme. And I really have been praying and connecting and bringing all this love and support behind the scenes to them because I have so much compassion for the struggle that he is going through, that it puts it into perspective that I am not the only one struggling here. And my problems, yes, I need to be supported, but even though I'm being supported, I can still, it's free to send my love. It's free to keep them in my heart. It's free for me to pray in meditation for their well-being. And so share your wealth. Realize you're abundant. Notice where that you don't have to put another thing on your plate. You just might want to say a little prayer at night. And that builds a certain state of realizing that it's not so bad, right? And the more that we can give our love and keep our vibration in the state of gratitude, and that we know that this is the little saying from Tony Robbins, that it's happening, whatever's happening to you right now is actually somehow in the grand scheme of things really happening for you and not to you. And you're not a victim to your experience, and you're not a victim to your life, but you're learning a lesson and gaining strength, and that you don't have to indulge in the victimization of what you're currently going through, but know that you are being supported through this time. And that is something with the participation card, the master, you are being very supported, and there's support around you. And the more that you can see that and honor that and receive that, the more that you will have the strength to come out of this dark time and into a state of giving your love again and getting back on your feet, okay? This is a great card we're going to finish with. The future position is the receptivity card. Be open to receive goodness in your life. Be open to receive help and support into your life. Be open to receive new opportunities that are in alignment with your heart and in your alignment of what you want to manifest. Open up your heart. The card here, she is naked. So there's a vulnerability. There's a authenticity, right? The heart is being open. The head, right, is not the mind anymore. It is open. It's an open lotus, willing and ready to receive the nourishment and the nutrients that it needs to blossom. Okay, so the more and more that you stay into this trust, open to receive support and help from others, and ask for help from others, you are going to be nourished to come out to share. Again, whether it be abundance financially, or abundance just by having extra energy, or abundance because you have learned a lot through this struggle and this hard time that you've been going through. Now you have a plethora and an abundance of wisdom, an abundance of experience to help somebody that might be going through what you were going through a few months ago, and you can help them out of that dark time, right? Because God knows we also need help to get us out of dark times, but other people do too. And once we get out of that, then we can start helping others. But it's time right now to be receptive to goodness in your life. So really take on that mantra. I receive goodness in my life right here, right now. I am open to receive goodness right here, right now. It's all okay. You're going to be okay. It already is okay. Okay? All right. I hope that finds you well. If you like my messages, please subscribe to my channel so you can get these free messages every week. I'm also going to be opening up my channel a little bit for other topics, anywhere around women's empowerment, women's sexuality and empowerment there, and also how to support mothers and how to walk as a conscious and embodied woman in the world, okay? All right, if you like what I do too, make sure you book a session with me. Connect. I can really help you maybe release some of these fears that you have, to really allowing yourself to be vulnerable and open into getting the support you need. Okay, until next time, I will see you soon. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Hello, reading 3, and welcome to your reading. Before I begin, I like to give a general disclaimer that this is a general reading. So maybe not every specific detail will feel like it pertains to you, but that's okay. Hold tight, keep an open mind and an open heart, and the messages you need to hear will be coming just around the corner. So as we begin, I like to show you a snapshot of the reading in its entirety, so you can see where I'm going and what the different positions mean, so you can follow along through the reading. The first card down here is the theme position. This is the card of what generally this whole reading is going to be about. The cards in the center is your present position. This is what's happening right here, right now. Maybe some of your challenges or some of your helpers that are helping you get through whatever challenges you might be going through. The card all the way in the back here is the past position. So something that's happened in your past that's still influencing what's happening now and maybe even in the future. The card on top is your advice from spirit, your higher guidance, and gives you a higher perspective of what is to come. And then this card closest to me is the future position. This is what you're going to be either dealing with or learning in the next 1 to 3 months to come. Okay, let's start your reading. All right, for your theme position, we have the 4 of Swords in the reverse position. This energy in the Thoth deck is the Truce card, and it's in reverse. As I look at the rest of the cards, this reading definitely pertains to money and maybe a certain amount of financial crisis or a new way to bring in money. But before we bring in new wealth, before we bring in new opportunities, there's still a little bit of this past way of making money that needs to be dealt with. So if you're dealing with any type of debt, or maybe you're going through a divorce and you guys are going through some like legal settlement, who is getting what, or you're going through some sort of lawsuit, there's this energy here that we're having a hard time coming towards an agreement. So what I want you to do, because it is the 4 of Swords, There might be either 4 different ways to do it, or there might be 4 people involved and they all have their own agenda. To get this, to get into harmony, I pulled 4 cards, and we're going to go through these really quickly. I don't really want to pull them up, but I am going to show them to you. The first one is the change card. So we might have to agree to make some changes in our life, or even come to certain sorts of changing of mind, changing of heart, to come to a compromise. You don't have to compromise yourself, but you might have to give up little things for this truce to be able to move forward a little faster. The second one that I have is the Lover's card. So I'm kind of, maybe it is a divorce energy, or this is a coming together of 2 different people that can help support you. So if it is like you and your husband went into debt, or you and a business partner went into debt, there is certain amount of both people that can take a little bit more of this weight. So if you're needing to bring in more money, maybe your husband needs to step up a little bit so you don't have to take it all on yourself, or you get to take another job on, or just be open for a new opportunity to arise so you can bring in more money in your situation. There's the Strength card in reverse. So honestly, I'm getting this energy of like, you don't always have to be the strong one. Maybe you have to ask another part of them, like whoever is in this financial debacle with you, to be the strong one. Maybe you have to be the vulnerable one in this situation. And the last one is the Empress. The Empress is usually like a motherly figure. Maybe a motherly figure is going to help you out a little bit, or give you some really good advice, or it's maybe tied to an inheritance. But there is some sort of flow here that's going to happen within these energies. Now look, I know this is a general reading and this is hyper specific. All I want you to know when it comes to the truce is that everybody has to let go of their individual stubbornness, and the full and main objective for all parties involved, whether it be debt or lawsuits, is that we have to come to some sort of a truce and an agreement so everybody can move on. The more that we fight here, the more that we're going to stay in this drama. The more that you take steps to move forward on it and don't avoid it, the faster you're going to bring in more money. And to be honest with you, the money is like knocking on the door here. I really see this. So let's go in the present position. So in the present position, we have the 5 of Swords, the Defeat card, in reverse. So yes, we have the truce in reverse. We're trying to get to a certain level of agreement. But the Defeat card, this really like heavy energy, is in the reverse position. You're getting through it. Yes, it's still present, but it's not as heavy as it used to be. And it's not as scary as it needs to be. So yeah, the idea of having a major amount of debt or a big settlement or whatever that might be a scary thing. But just allow yourself to let it go. There's more things. There's new beginnings on the horizon. So don't take this super personally. Know that even this, whatever you're going through, is happening for you, not just to you. You're not a victim of the circumstance. This is really going to kind of cut you from an old way of doing this, an old way of making money, your old relationship dynamic when it comes to money and safety and providing. And it's going to move into something new. Because as we have the Defeat card, on your present position, I have the 10 of Pentacles in the upright position. This is new wealth. And this is not in your future. This is in your present. There is money that's wanting to come. We just got to get through whatever this is, right? And there's a new amount of wealth. Now, 10 is a cycle of completion. It's the last number in the minor arcana, the 10, but it's also 1 and 0. 1 and 0 equals 1. It's a new beginning. So it's an ending of and a beginning of new wealth in your life. And it's not just like, oh, I'm wealth and love and all of this. Yes, that might be the case. This is financial. This is money. This is actually physical money. So know that there will be opportunities for wealth right here, right now. I'm getting maybe this week you'll get an opportunity for new wealth, but continue to move toward this truce, this ending of this old cycle. Because let's look at the past position now. We have the Prince of Discs in reverse. So this is in our past. The Prince of Discs, Prince is usually an immature figure, someone who is probably younger than the age of 30. It's also an internal immaturity within us. It's Pentacles, it's the masculine, and it's in reverse. So what this is telling me is we're moving out of an old way of being provided for or providing for ourselves. Maybe the old immature way is grind and work hard and deplete ourselves for pennies, right? Or we're giving too much. We didn't ask for enough for our services. And this is a time to let go of your state of lack of worth, your lack of what you deserve, or an old way of making money. This is about working smarter, not harder, right? There's a different way to put yourself out there in the world, because whatever you're doing, you're not just the apprentice anymore. You're not just the intern. You don't have to work for free anymore. It's time to ask for what you need financially. It's time to ask for that raise. It's time to let go of the job and go to something that you're more qualified now. You don't need to be a secretary for 30 years. You might have grown out of that, right? And the funny thing is, so let's move away from the Prince of Discs and let's go to your message from Spirit. We have the Princess of Discs. Now, yes, okay, I get it. It's still a little bit more of an immature figure, but it's the feminine, it's the discs. She's upright. She might not be the Queen of Discs, but this girl looks pretty darn empowered. And she doesn't look like she's toiling as much as the prince was. The princess looks like she still has her tools. She has her spear here, her sword. She has things. She's still doing it. She still has maybe a craft that she's doing, but she doesn't look like she's in turmoil. She looks like she's grounded. She looks like she's in a contemplation of things. So there is a new way here. What they're telling me with this Princess of Discs is you have this opportunity to show up in a different way, maybe even show up in your feminine, that your feminine can receive the money, that you don't have to act like a man and be a competitive, moving up the ladder, moving up the chain, pulling back, seeing the tools that you have, and start making the money with what you're good at instead of what you have to do. Also, I'm getting this energy too. Let me get another card. Oh, I got the Sun card, everybody. The Sun is, there's some luck shining upon you right now. So even though you're letting go of an old way, maybe you feel like you're losing money right now because you are in some sort of, I don't know, I kind of get like a legal affair. Everything is bright. You have to let this go. There is a lucky star shining upon you. The more that you let go of the heaviness, the more that this light can kind of carry you into your next project. Let's finish it up. Let's bring in now the energy of the future. It is the Six of Cups. And in the third deck, it is the Pleasure card. This is a lot about receiving the things that really put us into a state of luxury and pleasure and joy, and we feel like satiated in what we're getting. This is not, I feel like you're moving out of the energy of struggle, of arguing, of debt, and you're moving into a state where things are going to be a little bit more easy. I do know that the Six of Cups is also an energy of nostalgia. So maybe you're moving closer to home. Maybe you're having creature comforts that are starting to be at your disposal in the next 6 months. And there's a deeper sense of being taken care of. There's a sense of family here. So what I'm getting from this entire reading is, yes, you might be going through some hard struggles with money, but it's almost done. It's almost done. I almost say, like, give it 5 more days. Like, I do not think that this is going to last for very much longer. I think that all your new opportunities are right on the horizon. They are not even, it's like right there. They're trying to drop in for you, and that everything is going to work out okay. If you need to hear anything else about your finances, I want you to hear this. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Keep your thoughts positive. Keep not just your hope alive, keep a knowing, a deep inner grounded knowing that whatever the fear is the illusion, and that this is going to work out okay. Take a deep breath, really feel that. Notice where the head wants to negate my message of like, no, that's too good to be true. Breathe it into your solar plexus, right underneath the rib cage, right in the center. So right here. Breathe that in. That's your sense of worthiness. This is that where that sun card really connects. Breathe into the belly and into the hips and make that true. Everything is going to be okay with my finances. This is going to work out in my favor. This is going to work out in the betterment of the greater good of everyone involved. I have new opportunities that are coming to me now. I am protected. I deserve to have pleasure in my life. I deserve to enjoy my life. And I have financial security. Take a deep breath. Hold. Let the fear go. Take a deep breath. New financial opportunities are coming to me now. Hold. Exhale the fear. Breathe in. Everything is working out in my favor always. Hold. Let go of any of the fear on the exhale. And allow any of those phrases to be your mantra. Every time you go into a state of fear around this money issue, come back to your solar plexus and your hips. Breathe in the state of being provided for, that this luck, this abundance is right here, right now. You are being taken care of. I know. It's a lot. Money fears are like a little tricky monkey, but you're going to be okay. Everything's okay. I know you have a little bit of PTSD around this. I get it. But everything's working through. Okay. All right, everyone. I hope that finds you well. If you like the message that you got today, please subscribe to my channel. I have beautiful tarot readings every week. I'm also going to be starting some new content around women's empowerment, women's sexual empowerment as well. I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to embody our sexual nature, if you will, and also around motherhood and how to navigate and survive that. So if you like what I do, please subscribe. Also, if you need a little extra help and a little bit more guidance personally, because these are general readings, please feel free to book a reading or a session with me, and I would love to connect one-on-one with you. Until next time, have a beautiful day, everyone. Namaste.